Hey everybody, Adam here, and I am your favorite hockey guy in Utah, and I hope everyone's having a good offseason. Well, one of the additions this offseason was Anders Lee from my New York Islanders to my Utah Mammoth. And a lot of questions have surrounded Anders Lee. What does he bring to the team? What kind of value is he? I mean, was he overpaid? I'm going to go and take a look at all of the good things and all of the bad things in this video. I'm going to give you a couple of video clips as well so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So, first question, why did we go after Anders Lee? Well, Anders Lee is a power forward, and he is a very powerful power forward. He's got the ability that we've wanted from Hayton for some time that Hayton quite hasn't delivered. So what Lee brings is going to be a very big net front presence, which is going to be massive for the power play. He also brings a heavy hit on the forecheck. He brings a lot of board battle ability. He's going to be able to win pucks there. And he's got fantastic hand-eye coordination. Even though he's getting a little bit older, his hand-eye coordination is still fantastic. And I'm going to give you an example of how that appears. So I got a really good clip I found of him. This is going to be him basically tipping a puck off of a defenseman's shot. Now, this is something I think is going to be very helpful for both Uyghur and for Sergachev, probably more for the latter because of the way that they take shots from the point. But go ahead and take a look at this clip. Now we're going to take this point shot from Lee. Now look, right over here, there's where the puck is. Look how far that is from the net. Look at that great hand-eye coordination. He's able to tip that behind the goaltender. All right, guys, I love that clip, and I love it as an extreme example of what Anders Lee can do. Now, there's a lot of moving parts on there, and Anders Lee is able to make them all work together. So if you look, the shot from the point was about 6 feet, maybe 7 feet wide. So, there was no chance of that going in. But Anders Lee is able to do a couple of things there. Number one, first off, he's battling against the Capitals defenseman. He's able to get kind of around and by the defenseman, but at this point, he is now past the crease, probably a good foot past the crease. Number two, this shot is going wide. So most players are going to say, hey, this is going wide. They may not necessarily be looking for the tip, but Anders Lee is able to spot the puck, even though it is heading wide, and recognize where that puck is headed. He is able then to, number three, get his stick, the stick blade, to make contact. So the hand-eye coordination on that shot to get the stick on the puck was impressive. But not only that, to angle the stick properly, because number four, he had the positional awareness to know where the goal was in relation to where his shot was and where he was on the ice. Now that shot came from an extraordinarily sharp angle. That shot very rarely goes in, and that shot will beat the goalie if he's out of position, which was the case here. The important thing to note, though, that was a sharp position or sharp angle shot, which means the chance of that going in was extremely low. So if you think and you put all those pieces together, Anders Lee found a shot. Well, first off, he beat his guy, so we got into a decent enough position to tip a shot. He recognized when a shot was extremely wide that there was still an opportunity to tip it. Number three, he got his stick on the puck. Number four, he was able to angle his stick on the puck to deflect it at least as close as he could towards the net mouth, and boom, he ends up getting the goal. All right, so that last clip showed that Anders Lee is able to get the tips in there. He's got the good hand to eye. But one of the parts of that clip, the first part I talked about breaking it down, was his strength and his ability to kind of get a good position on the defenseman. I've got a clip here from a power play, and this clip shows where Anders Lee is able to kind of outmuscle guys down in the slot. Now, for a team that kind of struggled on the power play for much of the year, they lacked a finisher. They lacked somebody who could do the dirty plays up close against a goaltender. Anders Lee provides that. Now, he is extremely strong. If you've ever heard the jokes kind of about his legs, super strong guy, super built. And because of him being strong, he's hard to move. And because he's hard to move, if he gets a good position in front of the net, he has the opportunity to finish. And that finisher is going to be critical for Utah's power play. But let's take a look, and we'll run into what the Islanders' power play was, and we'll look at where Lee's positioning is. So take a look at this clip. All right, here's Lee highlighted on the Islanders power play. So they're going to be passing the puck around. But look, this is where the defenseman is trying to move Lee out of the way. He can't. Lee has great positioning. He's in front of the defenseman. He's right by the crease, right where the goalie is going to struggle to stop this. He gets the pass. Boom. He's able to convert it back in the net. All right, guys, I love that clip for two reasons. Number one, it was available easily on Sportsnet, so thanks to Sportsnet for letting me grab that. And then number two, it encapsulates Lee's play on the power play. And he is a presence in front of the net. He gets to that area and fights for his location and is very difficult to dislodge. Now, I kind of sped up the play, so maybe missed a little bit with his positioning, but once he was in position and that red hour was on him, he was ready for the pass, and he had his stick on the ice for the majority of the time he was there. The Seattle defenseman could not move him. He was ready to make that play whenever that play developed. He was in fantastic position right at the top of the crease and right in a position where the goaltender had to defend against the shot against the forward and couldn't defend against him kind of where he was positionally against the crease. Having a stick down, ready to make the play is the sign of a finisher, and it's something that we've lacked on the power play. So having Anders Lee do something like that for us consistently with zone time pressure on the power play is going to convert into more goals. All right, guys, this last clip I love because it's going to show you the entirety of what Lee's game is going to bring to us. Now, the big hits that we had last year, a lot of them were made by Kyle Yamamoto and by Michael Carcone. These guys are a little bit smaller. I think they're 5'8", 5'9"-ish. And so, the hits are big for them, but they're not just bone-shakingly, bone-rattlingly heavy hits. This clip I found is going to show you the heavy hits and the fantastic decision-making that Lee is going to make. So take a look at this clip here. All right, we got the Islanders forecheck on a dump, and here's Anders Lee with a massive hit against the boards. Now he separates the Flyers from the puck. His team is able to recover. He gets the puck behind the net. Now he can go around, cycle around the net, or he can try and make a play against this defenseman. He recognizes it's a mismatch. He's able to push the defenseman and stuff the puck in the side of the net for the goal. So you've got the physicality, not afraid to throw the hit. You've got the decision-making, knowing where to take the play, because he could have reset the play easily, sending it back to the point, but he knew he had an advantage as where he was. He had time, he had space, he had the ability to make something work, and he did. He outmuscled the defenseman to get to the front of the net. He shot and out. I don't know if you recognize it. It was hard to see, but when he put that puck in on Vladar, that puck was not in the first time. He actually had to get his own rebound. That's what he scored on. So the physicality, the decision-making, the ability to understand where he is, what is developing around him, and then the tenacity to stay with the puck to force it home. That is the kind of finisher that we need. That is the kind of finisher that we get with Anders Lee. All right, guys, I like the video clips, but these last things I don't have a video clip for because they're intangibles. Anders Lee's leadership. Now, quick history lesson. In 2018, John Tavares, captain and face of the franchise and the Islanders' best player, yeeted himself off Long Island and left the team in a lurch. Deadspin made fun of the Islanders and said, hey, we're ranking all teams from first to Islanders. Anders Lee was basically tasked with gelling that team, and he did. He helped lead them to the playoffs. In fact, he helped lead them to 2 conference finals in which they ended up losing. There was a Game 7. They ended up losing 1-0 on a shorthanded goal. If they had won that goal, they would have made the Stanley Cup Finals and possibly won that because it was against Montreal. So he helped take a leaderless, faceless team, helped them find an identity, and brought them to pretty much almost the promised land. But the other part of that is he is very charitable. He's very philanthropic. He's been working with the Jam Cancer and the Can Foundation on Long Island for years. Now, I don't know if there's any plans for him to do that here, but he is very community focused. I fully expect him to be doing something philanthropic with the community. So anything he does is just going to be a net benefit to everyone in Salt Lake, Mammoth Nation as a whole, and he looks good for the NHL. He's just a great face. All right, guys. The real knocks that we had on Anders Lee honestly have been his cost, his age, and the salary. I don't think those are knocks. The salary we can afford. Armstrong has done fantastic on his deals. The contract is only 3 years, and I mean, it's not that big of a deal in year 3 if we need to move him anywhere. But the age, people might have an issue with, but he's not getting much weaker at his age. The hand-eye coordination may dip a bit, but he's the best in the game. So if he dips a bit and he's second best, that's not bad. But his ability to understand the ice, his physicality is still there, his leadership's still there. So all in all, it's a great signing. But hope you like this video. I spent a lot of time on it. If you guys have questions about Lee, let me know in the comments. I look forward to answering them. I'm excited about this year, and I hope you are too. Take care, guys.